thing
And
actually
to
does
have a
just
tell.
change. So I have a tell. What's the tell?
I think I can just hear the smile on your face when you're trying to trick me into not realizing the video started.
Yeah,
That one.
yeah. That's a that's a brilliant start. That because like it's like that's like mid conversation. That makes people feel like they're wait, like listening in. Wait, what? I don't actually know what kind of feeling that's meant to
Uh,
evoke. You are actually
uh.
eavesdropping our conversations by listening to this podcast, so you should actually just stop.
Yeah, this is actually illegally recorded.
What?
Is that these are like snippets taken from the CIA or other industries, like the
Yes,
Chinese one?
yes, the British
Uh,
Secret Service, the CIA.
well, no. Why would the British be spying on the British? That would be insane. You know,
What?
why would governments spy on their own people?
We've got to be
That's
careful, otherwise the BBC's going to come around and be like, "Do you have a broadcasting license?" And then we don't, and then they'll shoot us.
yeah,
Like, well, in Germany, yeah, because I know
yeah,
about this because of Dragon Lord. You
yeah.
have to pay for a broadcasting license if you have a certain number of viewers. We
Luckily,
technically
we
wouldn't
wouldn't.
qualify.
Uh, no, we wouldn't
No,
have to
although I
pay.
would like to live in Germany.
Uh, uh,
What? Why not? They have Oktoberfest there. That's where Oktoberfest comes from.
apparently, they also have it in like Denmark, so
Actually,
just
is
go
it?
there.
I don't know which one it's like more from. I would guess Germany because of sausages.
Sausages.
Sausages. Sausages.
Sausages.
Sausages. Well, speaking no, speaking of Oktoberfest, speaking of such holidays, um,
Yes, got to
such
go a bit
holidays
vaguer.
that such holidays that one game known as the game we talk about, known as Deep Rock Galactic, would cover and include events such as these is the Hallow of Ween. Unfortunately, what the fuck is wrong with Freeple? Because they can't even do it. Why can't they do why is there not a Halloween event?
Because there will be one, like halfway through next year. You know
Yeah,
how they released their Easter
yeah.
event like now, right? And yeah, the Halloween one will come around about Easter next year.
It's
Like,
actually so sad. They're not even like on time like that. It just doesn't. Oh, 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 oh. I mean, yesterday. No, not yesterday. Monday or Tuesday. They had a trailer for the because we cover Halo now. They had a trailer for the
apparently,
winter update, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and they showed off certain things, like Forge. There's some really cool Forge maps that people have made. Unfortunately, they're not in matchmaking, and
mm,
there's no custom game browser, which means it was going to be almost impossible to get actual good sized groups of people to play on them. So good luck, good one there. Um, and also the Match XP beta, which everyone assumed was going to be like an actual like leveling like progression system, even if it was as basic as you just have a number. Because obviously the point of Match XP was going to be it rewards your actual performance in game. Um,
yeah,
and because of what had like pre-existed, um, everyone just assumed that it would be separate from the battle pass. No, actually, no, it's not. Match XP is just for the battle pass. So Halo Infinite still has no actual progression system. um,
which. Since we're already seem to be not on the Deep Rock topic, I don't want to mention what many people assume, or not much assume,
pretty
say is
scary, isn't it?
one of the worst thing about Halo Infinite is that, right? Not really, but like it doesn't help, right, in motivate the
In my
player.
opinion, it's one of the
And
things that makes it feel as shallow as it does.
yeah, and
A game
like
doesn't need a
terrible, like
massive amount
really
of content
unplayable.
to exactly. It doesn't need a. It doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily need a huge amount of
which
content. It's just. I mean, it could do with it, but
yeah, which is why it's pretty interesting because you would have thought that we kind of assumed that it was a mistake that 343 did that. But another giant game company that has re-released has done the exact same thing.
oh,
Fucking
oh,
Overwatch 2
oh.
also only has season pass based progression. Although they have actually given a reason for it, which I find to be very amusing. It's because of toxicity,
Oh yeah.
right? Because high level players receive more toxicity and more shit basically for being high level. So they removed high levels from the game.
Oh
It's the
wow,
same with
that's so
with like
cool,
everything
man.
else. Like they removed like badges and like being able to endorse enemies. Like basically like all of the interaction that you can have with your teammates and enemies in the game, they basically removed.
You know
Same
what?
with
I
like all
think
of
that
this.
completely absolves Activision Blizzard of any kind of wrongdoing. Actually, I think they're like just truly paragons of morality. I
Yeah,
mean, holy
I,
shit! What
I
a
do like how they're pretending to be like not the worst thing ever. Like yeah, removing content
there was
from
another
games.
lawsuit like in the last week,
Oh, is
sexual
there?
harassment lawsuit. Yeah,
There's no surprise there.
yeah, yeah. It's just like how,
Yeah,
how.
and it's just I don't know, and I only bring that up because I don't want like this to be a thing. Like if another big game like the new COD doesn't have a leveling system, although I think it already has, and it just has like a battle
I
pass
wouldn't
based
worry
one,
about it, mate,
that would be
because
the worst trend to start. Not that it would actually really affect any game that I play. I mean, I do play Overwatch 2 a little bit, but like I despise the idea that games are getting rid of leveling, are like just getting high levels because they're probably the most fun thing in games ever, and I think they've just taken that for granted and then just
no.
started
Well,
removing them
okay.
without realizing.
I think you need to reevaluate how you say that because it's not fun, is it? There's nothing outside of the actual gameplay is really fun.
Yeah,
I think
I
there's a better
suppose,
word
but
for it. Not that I can
well,
provide that right now, but still.
it's just a thing, right? And I will tie it into Deep Rock now that like Deep Rock's numerous leveling
Well, they got like
systems.
5.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, some of them fall a bit behind. Like, you're not really keeping track of your forge,
Well, Forge
like
Mastery
mastery.
and Shop. What's it called? I don't know what the shop one's called,
Yeah,
but
like you're not
that.
really going to be
Oh,
keeping track of
sorry. There's
those
also
ones.
like weapon like mastery when you kind of level up your weapons, but it just gives you skins. It's for
Yeah,
buying the
uh,
um,
and even then, like most some of
upgrades.
those aren't that special, but it is kind of just something that like you can visually see the numbers of how much you've interacted with something, or like that just kind of stuff. Like the forge mastery. I mean, yours is probably stupidly high. I think mine's in like the 80s. I think. Um, but yeah, I don't know that kind of leveling system, and obviously the main one in the game, like promotions and that. They're just such an inherent part of playing games, and companies now just seem to be removing them.
Well,
Just
but that's the thing though, because D-Brock's kind of in the clear as far as that's concerned because they can't.
yeah,
They also they're not really trend chasers in that way. I don't think they're actually trend chasers at all, right? Because if you look at the performance pass, that wasn't because it's like the trendy thing. That's because it's like the just I don't know. It's just good for them, I guess. I don't think they're too
battle
concerned
passes
about
are
being.
just
Yeah, it's a
they are
business
just
model.
amazing business models, and like it's just win for like everyone involved, really. Like battle passes. I'm not sure if we've gone through this before, but yeah, I mean,
But
it
D-Brock
just
already
keeps
has so
people
many other
engaged.
ways of unlocking things. It's like
Yeah, and they don't use FOMO. You don't have to pay for it, so they use like the nicest version of a battle pass. Because yeah, they are just different from the rest of the gaming sphere, at least the AAA stuff, right? They're not trying to be AAA and making the kind of corporate decisions, right? Like, and I would say yet, because maybe eventually they will, but there's really nothing they can do to deep rock. Like maybe if they get big enough and they make a new game, it will end up being a bit different, but they really can't actually change deep rock to be a corrupt game at this point.
and I
Like
don't think
even
they have
if
any
they wanted
intention of
to.
doing that. I think they're just
No,
gonna keep
obviously not.
making DLCs and
Yeah.
well, the monetization discussion should mostly be saved for a whole. Well, that's going to be an episode eventually because there's lots to talk about there. But obviously, we're on the horizon, on the eve of a new season, which means a new DLC, and that sentence I think means something. A new season means a new DLC, and they haven't really brought out a big update without having a DLC with it, pretty much since 1.0, since the launch, proper launch, because like, and that is the biggest updates. Obviously, you've got Roughnecks at Work, which added the new missions, and also had a DLC. Then the next one, that was the next update, was when they added new biomes, which brought Dawn of the Dread, and the next update after that was the smaller one, which added double warnings and all that stuff. And then it was season 1, because obviously there wasn't in that smaller update they didn't have a DLC. But the point is that they're going to keep making DLCs, I think, as long as they can, and I don't see why they wouldn't be able to at any point. And it's like, I can imagine perhaps there'll be a point where someone will, start playing the game and they'll see all the DLCs and they'll think that's a lot of cosmetics locked behind a paywall. But it's like, it is still gradual, and it's like
it really will be,
and you will end up spending a lot of money on them. But I think I see it the right way, which is that they're all worth the money in their own right individually. So it's like,
and I think that's the thing. It's like for some reason, we just decide we'll buy the DLC and decide whether or not we actually are going to use it later. Like, I don't use Roughneck at all.
What, the armor? Do you not really? Because I like those armor sets quite a bit, frankly.
I don't like the armor. I don't like the skins. There's nothing about Roughneck that I actually really use.
Yeah,
I don't regret buying it. But if I was a player that just is playing the game and they have my taste that is not Roughneck, they just won't buy Roughneck, and that's obviously just a thing. And probably same with, Dawn of the Dread's a bit 50-50. Obviously we love the skin, but not the actual armor set. But people can look at that and they'll just have to evaluate it themselves. And as long as it's not in one bulk thing, or at least not always in one bulk thing, maybe they should probably do eventually, if it does get a bit unwieldy, they should probably add a bulk DLC pack. Basically, so and it will increase the overall price by 20% probably, but obviously you'll buy all of them. Something like that. Probably. Well, just having
why would it be more? Why would them all together cost more?
No, reduce it by 20%.
Right? Yeah, I think you did say it would be 20% more.
Oh right,
which is really weird.
Yeah. But yeah, that probably be a good idea at some point. But for now, just buy it if you have the money and if you like the look of it, or if you just want to support the game. And I think, I think we are not just evidence, but completely aware of the fact that works. That business model just works. I imagine because they're
Well, the thing is, it's not really much of a business model for them, because they chose not to have it be paid for, even though they could have so easily. I hesitate to use the term "gotten away with." But they could have just done it. There's so much else backing up, the performance pass, right, surrounding it. It's one of they had probably the most reason any developers ever had to make their battle pass paid, because you've got so many other ways of unlocking stuff for free. But then of course because they're so. I do genuinely think, obviously they are a business, but I do think they are very sincere in the fact, because they could have done it so easily, but I think it's literally because they didn't want to have any FOMO, so they had to make it free so they could put everything back into the normal unlock systems. It's I don't know, man. It's good. It's good. It's morally just.
And the thing is, though,
they're not making money from that. They're just using DLCs and using.
And it's not like they're being idiots either and just abandoning earning money from the game, right? You buy it and then that's kind of it. They still want you to spend money on the game even after you bought it, but they just want to earn it. Unlike most companies, where they will prevent you from accessing content and force you to do a paywall.
Yeah, which is why everything in the game. So you pay for the game, but everything in the game is free except for cosmetic DLC, which they actually put effort into. And it's a combination of the integrity and the quality of those items. That just makes it all comes together. It all comes together, and they deserve it. They deserve every penny that we can give them. They also deserve more employees, more manpower, because I've had a somewhat of a realization that, and it's I don't know how we haven't discussed this before, but the fact that obviously we know part of season three's taking so long to get here has something to do with the month of no working. But of course, we didn't really consider the fact that season three is the most like from scratch update they've done in a while. Because neither season one nor season two were built from the ground up, really. They were all using some repurposed elements that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Season one was built off the back of a mission prototype for an update that came out like a year before. And then season two was built off of a lot of the assets that they made for season one. Season three
and, like,
is completely fresh. And the fact that I think it is still just 6 months, which was 6 months is a while, but I mean, maybe that is quite quick for them, actually. I mean, they still need to get it down a bit, but I didn't really think about this. And the fact that it seems like we might be getting just a better content, a more substantial content drop, at least certainly than season two. It's interesting to me. I don't know if they're going slowly on. That's the thing, we still don't really have a grasp on what's like a lot for them.
Well, the thing is, it's just as they grow, it will just grow. Like, that's kind of how it works. Like, the more money they have coming in, the more employees they can hire and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, something's going on because like they've got season three coming up, but they've also, if you take into consideration obviously Halloween and the last event being Oktoberfest, both of which had more effort put into them than usual. Something's going on, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we sort of theorized or just discussed that perhaps that was more of a decision rather than they just suddenly were able to do that. It was almost like, I don't know if this was in a video, but we sort of said maybe they actually... No, it was actually just when we were looking at the Halloween like decorations in game. We said that... one of us said that it was like maybe they realised maybe they were always able to do this. They just hadn't had the reason. They hadn't seen reason to put more effort into these events. But it's like I think it all came from Oktoberfest being so well responded to with the beer and the double XP.
Yeah.
But at the same time, why did they do that in the first place? I think it's because. Well, we discussed. Are we in agreement on the Oktoberfest thing being brought back just to
they felt
tide us
bad
over?
about the break?
Yeah, and that's why they added something extra to it. But I think the response has shown that they need these sort of events, and maybe they should be putting a bit more into them because we've also talked about mid-season updates, which I think I'm going to roll off, considering I think they're going to be starting to just put more effort in, like even more than sort of like I think they probably want to go for sort of a combination of this Halloween and this Oktoberfest for like all holiday events, because I don't like using the word, they call them seasonal events, but I don't like that because seasonal events to me now is the in-mission events from the seasons. So holiday events is what I'm going to be calling them, at least. I think you were you going to say something?
Probably, but God knows I don't remember.
Sick.
But yeah, I mean, obviously they stated that it like the double XP and like I'm not sure if they said the beer was the experiment, but the double XP was definitely an experiment on the Oktoberfest. But they have definitely, I mean, they've stated that they wanted to bring the beer back, but there just wasn't enough time. So we probably will be looking at like a beer per holiday event. Like that's quite likely for the future of seasons. Which is good because I think that's pretty cool. I don't know, like obviously the decorations keep ramping up, but if you can actually like interact with the holiday event, like in the hub, like buy a Dreadnought beer as the Christmas music plays in the background, and there's like all that'll be like an actual full on vibe. And obviously you go into the missions and it's like the presents everywhere and stuff like that. Like And then maybe if there is an event, like I don't know, like Santa's sleigh crashed,
Yeah,
you have to
what the
like,
hell? Yeah, sure, why not? Why not?
well,
You
you
can
have to,
recover
yeah,
a present.
yeah. If you want to just keep going with like things crashing into the planet, which I think as long as they acknowledge and lean into, I would find that like perfectly fine. Like just every holiday, something is crashing into Hoxie's. It's like constantly stating like we don't know how this keeps occurring, but like you know, like yeah, but
Oh
I
my
don't
god,
know. It would be funny.
I forgot that because like, hold on, this kind of actually this whole thing sort of started with Easter, to be honest. Because I forgot that this Easter they just turned all the eggs into Easter eggs, like the alien eggs, which is like not
Yeah.
much of an addition, right? But still, I forgot about that.
Well,
And
yeah. I think we
the
mentioned
assignment was
that.
like all egg hunts, so it was
Yeah.
slightly like a slight change, you
Slight
know.
a slight play with the actual like seasonal stuff, doing more than just the assignment and adding some things to
But
the
I think
thing.
we need a bit of all of that, pretty much for all of these events for them to really work. Unless I would deem it not entirely necessary though, if they are able to really get the time between actual seasons down. Because
Yeah,
I think me thinking they really need to start putting more effort into these holiday events was actually borne out the longer gaps, and I think they are absolutely within their rights to like do this if they really like want to put more effort into these. But the seasons are going to do them more good. They should. I would be prioritizing trying to get that down to like well, start with 5 months, I guess, but
mm,
still, yeah. And that's what the hell do I just do? Sorry, I'm holding a pen and I accidentally just like snapped part of it off just by accident.
the sheer strength behind your grip.
That's amazing. Anyway, what was I saying? Fuck. What? So what they should do is just over like maybe the next year or two is just like gather together everything they're gonna like put some more focus maybe on these holiday events, but don't change them as much afterwards.
Yeah,
Just
well, yeah, I
bring them
think
all up a notch, but still have them be the same every year
yeah,
after that. So then they can put the attention back where it needs to be. But I still think making these events better is definitely something they should look into. Like, because I was thinking even right, and this could go on for a while, but like
mm,
I would love, and I think it might do them some good, really, if they were to look into actually adding some actual gameplay features, or at least one, some like not and I mean something, not the mug, something else. You know, that's not what I mean. I mean like an enemy, even of some kind, something
right.
else.
Well, I think that I don't know. Maybe like it could be depending on the event, or maybe they add one because I don't know. Yeah, I think they just have to like kind of go hard now on like the actual event, and then yeah, next year will be easier because it's already done. I
Well, I
think
mean, like
that
you've got some things like the swarmers inside the pumpkins, but like, what if
yeah.
instead there's actually Glyphids that, like eat the pumpkins? There's like fat
Or
Glyphids.
like Cliffords have like a little Santa hat on sometimes. It's
Well, that's
just
not really what I mean. I mean, I mean,
that's
in
what I
the
mean.
Christmas one, I mean, if we could throw snowballs at Glyphids, that'd be great.
Hmm.
I don't know how that would work though.
Yeah,
I can't remember if they just added snow piles like everywhere. Did they? I don't remember.
it was just in the hub.
Well, no, I mean, like I know you couldn't actually make snowballs in missions, but I don't remember if there were snow piles still. I think it's just candles and presents they have in the caves. Speaking of which, I haven't been in the caves this Halloween. I assume it's still the same. But with
Hmm.
the purple I don't think the candles were purple before.
No,
And I suppose we should speak about that more directly because this is probably because this is the Halloween special of Welcome to
yeah,
the Barrel Vision podcast. Um,
it's getting started now.
Probably the
At least on
best
topic.
space rig decorations they've done for an event, or at least it because decoration wise, actually, I think yes, but I think like the Christmas one still outdoes it a little bit because of the snowballs. Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I think uh, the actual, obviously, the beer, the Abyss Bar area, they went pretty hard on. Like, they added like an atmosphere of like mist and bats and that, which they've never really done before.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And also, I get there's also the ghosts as well that you can sort of slap around, and they got voice lines
They got
attached as
voice
well.
lines,
It's all good
pretty
stuff.
good. Yeah.
It's all good stuff. But there is something very weird about this one because like you go to the bar, it's like it feels like it's infected almost. And I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
used the Korok roots as decoration. Now, it just strikes me as odd because something about it feels less decorative. But I know that it's got nothing to do with season 3, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think it's meant to invoke a certain feeling, of sort of the rig being somewhat infested, almost. I think it's like a preparatory sensation. And well, maybe it's just to sate that appetite because we're never going to get the actual space rig outbreak. So that's great. That's great.
I no, I bet you that there is a vat somewhere on the rig that has been smashed open from the inside. I bet you they've done that. Like, and like it's just like you could interact with it. It's like, oh, I wonder what happened here, or some bollocks like that. Like, I bet you that they fucking did that.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna talk about that again, I mean, we've seen quite a bit of what's been added to the space rig, if not everything's been added to the space rig with season 3. There's a lot of vats. There's a lot of them. There's so many.
I think it also it's pretty amusing that you would assume that the vats are going to still be there in the events. So they're going to have the event decorations on top of the seasonal decorations on top of just the hub.
Well,
so
yeah,
the hub's
but
gonna
those
be
kind of
messy.
assuming that the theme is dropped after season 3, assuming we don't get a sequel season again, like those vats would be something that would disappear though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
Obviously.
they won't disappear during the events, the holiday events in that season. So it's gonna you're gonna have like
Right
these
you
vats
are.
of things with like Christmas hats on and stuff like that. Like,
What? They put
Yeah.
Christmas hats on the parasites.
no, just on the vats, or if they ballsy enough, the parasites. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we basically need to just review this Halloween. I guess we kind of can't in certain ways, but it's like
Once again, we haven't actually played it yet.
Yeah, but what's going to change though? Really, about what's that going to change about what we can really say? I assume the assignment, as far as I know, what could be different about the assignment unless it's like all haunted caves or something. You know.
The fact that we don't know this yet, we're making a podcast on it, is my point, Harry.
It's a bloody good point. At the same time, we didn't have the time.
Yeah, we might after this, but
What?
even then,
Oh,
or probably more
possibly.
tomorrow, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Don't want to draw eyes away from this fantastic broadcast we're doing here.
Completely baseless and so far unrelated podcast.
Well, we're just going to talk shit about Halloween, I guess, because like if they were to do a beer,
Halloween.
I know you like Halloween. I don't like Halloween. Oh, sorry, no, I kind of do. I like a lot of things about Halloween. I don't like Halloween themed food. The very idea makes me actually sick. Anything Halloween themed actually makes me want to vomit, and I will fucking kill anyone who tries to actually feed me Halloween themed food. They got fucking Jaffa cakes. Fuck that. Disgusting. Also, I even don't like the Haribo, like the Halloween Haribo stuff. Even that, it's like, oh, I don't. This is wrong. I don't like this. It's that deep. It's like a phobia. It's so irrational, I think, but still, because obviously they're just Haribo, but the fact that like Halloween shapes, it's like, oh no, this is wrong. Like, obviously, I'm not going to eat green Jaffa cakes, but like it's clearly something irrational going on. Like I even don't like eating food when it's Halloween.
Oh my god!
Like I remember, obviously this is like very young, like a Halloween party, but not like that kind of party. It's actually just a group of friends, and obviously you're like, you're like 12 years, well no 10, maybe 9. So you've got like popcorn chicken poppers and ketchup and like crisps. That's your dinner. I
Yeah.
didn't. It was like meant to be like a Halloween party, so there's some decorations around, and it's like I didn't even want to eat just the chicken poppers. I was like, this, I don't. Everything tastes gross today. I hate
On
this.
Halloween, food is an inedible,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah,
Oh my. I mean,
yeah.
we did like the opposite. I mean, not really opposite. Like Halloween, we'd all like get together around my nan's, and then we'd just kind of like have a normal dinner. Yet we try and turn it into something like I'd have macaroni and cheese, and it would be like hollowed out bones
Yeah, I can't. Don't even.
in like I don't know, like bone sauce. I guess we weren't
Bone
very creative.
sauce.
Um, and then obviously there's like spaghetti, so it would be like worms in
I
blood.
like pumpkins though. Not well. How well? Not exactly as a food. Partially. I like pumpkins. I like people carving pumpkins. I think maybe they could have done some more interesting pumpkin carving. And if they really ran out of Halloween hats, just like carve different shit into the pumpkin and just make that.
I think they should do like a fan one. Like
Yeah, they absolutely should.
they send out like a document, or I'm not sure how it works, like a website maybe that is like a their pumpkin, and they get people to carve out a
Pardon me.
face, and then that will be one of the cosmetics, which is a win-win-win-win-win really if they can set it up, because
Well,
you
it'd be
know
like runners
community
up. It'd be like the
engagement.
top three, and that could be
So
a whole year,
but
really. That's
well,
fine.
yeah, the winner is like an actual face, like a head, and the runners up will just be kind of put
Oh, you're
across
saying that
the.
people should actually like make headwear for these events?
Well, I'm saying that it would be really cool. First of all, community engagement, interaction. Everyone loves that.
They should just do these like competitions like constantly, just like make cosmetics for us.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
the thing.
legitimately, yes. Like it's not even like I wouldn't blame Ghost Ship for a second for doing that because people would love it, and it's also just cool to get any community
Yeah.
stuff in the game.
The thing is, it's like because I want to compare this to probably the thing I actually hate most in the gaming industry, is the Minecraft mob vote, which has occurred recently,
Ooh.
which I'm not paying attention to.
Well, yeah, it
But
wouldn't be a
that
vote, though, would it? This would be people
legitimately,
entering, and Ghost Ship would choose.
but like that legitimately made me stop playing Minecraft. Like the vileness of creating 3 mobs
Well,
and then making people pick,
I'm
and it's
not
the same with the
gonna
actual updates.
hold on. I'm not actually gonna defend Mojang, but I think there's a technicality that we're not necessarily aware of. I don't think they have them all made.
No, but they have it. They have them all enough to the point where they know they could add them to the game,
Yeah.
which is why it's bullshit that they don't, because they are Mojang directly funneled like money by goddamn Microsoft. It's obscene that they can't
Yeah,
add 3
Mojang is
mobs.
one that seems lazy to me because they could absolutely add more frequently than they do, but they just don't
Yeah.
have to, so they don't.
No.
At the same time, though, just Minecraft isn't. I don't, in my opinion, actually adds the game itself. I don't think it's not actually worse than it used to be. It can't be, right? And they still add stuff to it.
It's Fox,
So it's like, I mean, yeah, frogs are great.
They are. I think they very soon they're going to announce like the next year's update. Although I'm not sure. Did we even get an update this year? I assume so, right?
Yeah,
We
I don't know
normally
what's
would have
going.
had
I'm
it by
not really
now.
keeping up with Minecraft, to be honest.
No.
But
But
to be
yeah,
fair,
basically,
they have a lot of they have shit ton of community created content though, and that's partially why they probably don't make as much themselves
yeah, it's
because
the
it's
same with
so
like mods and that.
much.
They don't have to.
But there's so much in Minecraft. That marketplace is crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, I mean, obviously, so they do kind of have that already. Like Ghost Ship, they added mods and like very strong mod like gameplay interaction. Like it's quite easy for people to do that, which does add an element of player interaction. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would just be like a win-win-win where the community could literally design a headgear for them every holiday, or maybe one for like each season, or something. And then it's a bit of a weight off their shoulders. It's a bit of community interaction, and also it would then be like chances are those headgears are going to be what people want the most. Like there'll probably be like if you can actually like they somehow give us the actual ability to make like really wild things, not just carving out a pumpkin. Like imagine a Viking helmet. Actually, is there a Viking? There is a Viking helmet. I'm trying to think of like other things that people want for like a while.
That's a good point. Well, they don't have a samurai helmet, to be fair. Specifically, well, samurai would be awesome, right? Because that could be a DLC, obviously, because
Yeah.
of how they work with those. Because sometimes they have like the Oni mask as well as the samurai helmet.
Right.
That would
Yeah.
be the full face and the open face, and the open face would actually be good in that context.
Yeah, and then they'll have like the samurai tenrai or whatever if you halo, like the armor. Yeah, I mean that would be cool. But if that they don't intend to add that, but people still want like a
Well, if they're
samurai
going to keep
mask.
making DLCs, they're going to get to it eventually.
Yeah, probably.
Unless they find a way to make it always seasonally themed.
Well, who says there can't be like a Japanese season theme? Like I
What?
don't know, like yokai have appeared or something like. I
What
don't know.
the
Maybe it is.
hell, boy?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some face masks that people really want. I mean, they could just do like a hood. I think people would mind that.
Oh yeah, a straight up hood. Definitely. As long as
Uh,
it can have well, we'd have all our facial hair, I suppose. You don't need actual hair with the hood.
I think there should be like a face mask where it's the like the comedy, like it's like the glasses with the fake nose and fake mustache.
Yes, that's
There should
perfect
be one of
for
those. April Fools.
April Fools or Halloween, I guess.
Yeah, more April Fools.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I was thinking about something else for April. They don't do anything for April Fools. Maybe they just shut the game down.
What they did?
Did they?
Yeah.
What?
That's where the pick. No, wait. The pickaxe headgear was Halloween, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I swear there was a fucking April Fool's event.
It wasn't an event. If they did anything, it wasn't an actual event. And also, probably doesn't make sense. I don't know what happens around that time. Why can't they do we've both talked about this. I wanted to do St. Patrick's Day. Obviously. Then we can get a leprechaun hat. So that's pretty easy. But actual Halloween stuff. So the cosmetics, or well, the headgear, the headwear that we got this year. We not that we've actually tried them on. But I look at them with great favor. Frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really go on the Reddit much recently, but I glanced upon it and all I saw was waves upon waves of people using the management headgear with like green skin.
Not management, someone else.
That's the one. Yeah, and yeah, it's just I'm not surprised, but it is a thing that that is quite a popular one. I've not actually seen anyone wear like the actual scary one, or the one's supposed to be scary.
No.
I think it's a good cosmetic, but it I don't know, it's not really much to it, if you know what I mean. There's no iconography, no real there's no meme factor to it, unlike the other one, so it never really stood a chance.
I can see myself using it because of but it's just like for me when it comes to the these cosmetics, it's not actually about the color coordination as much. Because it's like dress up, basically. It's like it's not. I'm never really looking to make a look out of these, but at the same time, and this is where things could go a bit off the rails. So I guess it's probably not in the cards for Ghost Ship to do this fully. But something that I actually like that Halo Infinite does is the events all have their own little battle passes, right? Like 30 tiers with all event-related cosmetics. Now, I don't think this is something that Ghost Ship really could do, but
it's basically the assignment.
It's that, and then I think, but they would add more cosmetics is my idea, and that you would unlock throughout that assignment, I suppose. Something like armor paint jobs that are themed to fit, like a gift wrapping, like a gift wrap paint job, where it's like that could be very easily color coordinated as well between the classes, like Christmassy paint jobs, mainly armor and weapon paint jobs. I think it's something they could look into as well for the holiday events, and it would really help them out. And you would sort of have, and it wouldn't need to apply to all of them either. That's something you would get for like Halloween, Christmas, and Easter, and that's probably it, you know. But I still think it's a good idea, and I would really like to see those because then they could actually have more curated overall looks that you would be expected to use. Maybe even it's just straight up fancy dress as well. Because I had the idea of we've got these the ghosts hanging from the ceiling in the space rig. I had the idea that you just have a full on like ghost like, Halloween outfit, and it's sort of a way of doing the like the medical gown as like a fully equipable item, but it's like the ghost, like the stereotypical ghost costume, and that's just for fun, and it would be very simple cosmetic to make.
It would be pretty cool if they added like different ones with different characters that kind of like made sense. Like Scout would get Ghost, and then like I don't know, probably someone else would get like a demon. For me, it makes sense to engineer, but I've already kind of got that, so that's why. But I don't know, just stuff like that, and it would be cool if they had like full
would be a Wendigo
body costumes. Sure.
That's great. That's great stuff, man. But what haven't they done? Because I'm thinking about Halloween, the headwears again. I think they've still got plenty of stuff. There's a lot of stuff they haven't done. Is what I'm saying. Well, what? Hold on. The vampire one's pretty weird, though, isn't it? Like, what would that even be, really? I guess now that you've got the mission control,
like a face mask.
Well, now you've got the mission control one, where it's like a full head of like a person, and it's just got different colour skin. They could do a very stereotypical Dracula-looking head, and it might have purple
I don't
skin.
really
Like
want them to do that. I'm honestly, I like these cosmetics, but I don't want them to keep up with the an entire head on top of their head.
I mean, Halloween, hold on, like a blood-stained paint job, like proper blood. That's like
maybe, yeah.
Just
I think they could do with. I think if they intend on continuing to innovate, like the Halloween events, I think branching out to just not be headgears is definitely something. It can be like probably not full body armors, but yeah, like a paint job.
Yeah, not armor
skin,
sets necessarily, unless they make
something like that.
Unless they just make like a full like costume, like a full werewolf costume or something.
Yeah,
but a werewolf head is one, and
don't
obviously,
do that.
What do you mean? Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't give them that.
What's this about?
Don't give the fairies that.
Right. Okay. I thought that's where this was going. Okay. What?
It would actually legitimately be a bad idea though, and I don't even. I mean, that was a joke, but like people will legitimately get kicked from games if they use that headgear, and there will be kind of like a very.
But it would be like an actual
outcry.
It would be an actual cool werewolf.
Like sure, but
Skyrim werewolf.
Yeah, but fairies will still use it, and people will still kick them for it.
Oh well, okay. So, before I say how actually what I think about that, so you're basically saying that you think Ghost Ship would be very conscious of that, and they would genuinely want to avoid that. They would have reason to believe that would generate a lot of toxicity.
Yeah, I think it would. And I think they would think about that, especially since they are aware of the whole fairy incident. Like Jacob commented on like a post talking about it. So yeah, it's something they would keep in mind.
Okay, so no furries. Oh, sorry, no werewolves. Shit. What? Anyway. So there's a bunch of other. I'm actually drawing a bit of a blank on all like this very stereotypical Halloween stuff they haven't done. Because now we've got the management head. They could do a full witch's face, but I don't really want that either. That'd be pretty weird. But like obviously a mummy would be a pretty obvious one because it's just toilet roll wrapped around the head.
I think I don't know. I think they could do like one goofy and one scary mask because that would kind of cover both every year.
Yeah, that does work, and I think they've hit it on the nail on the head this year because if you go to last year, bit of a flunk. I mean, you like the sort of the deep one Galactic is the what is it?
Right.
The
it's just like a merman, like a creature from the deep kind of thing.
Yeah, that and the pickaxe in the head and neither one are that good because like there's a scary one. It's a scary one, right? The reason why this year is so much better is because it's not like I guess it is still kind of a Halloween mask because obviously it's a dwarf wearing it. It's not they're not actually turning into a monster. But the point is, it doesn't look as much like just like a mask with like just a strap around the back to keep it on. And that's really what they should be doing is stuff like this year, and not like and what partially what I mean by that is like I wish like for example the demon one was like a full head, because it's already taking away all of your hair. So I wish it was just a full demon head. That would have been better, obviously, right? Yes, yes. And then there's also the funny ones. And another, what else is it? Like, I think there's a bunch of more obscure stuff they could do as well, like Cthulhu, a Cthulhu head. Which I would love, like a full
like a
squid head,
creature.
or like Davy Jones. I mean, a pirate hat kind of thing. I'd like that.
I feel like
I
feel
skull because I don't think they're going to do just a straight up skull, because of the skeleton crew thing. Like a skull, like a pirate hat on, or a skull with sunglasses on.
yeah, I think
Flaming skull, Ghost
they
Rider.
have a lot of options, and so they're probably not going to worry. They're not worrying about Halloween, right? As far as cosmetics go, Christmas, I would imagine they're probably looking at the bottom of that barrel and be like, oh, we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Like a Christmas pudding on your head?
Yeah, it's it's getting a bit spicy on that, but I think they're probably still managing. I mean, Chinese New Year they haven't had that many to do. Although the last one I feel like Chinese New Year might be one that isn't going to come back. I think there's a chance of that because it didn't really feel like a full-on one when it was here. So
I heard those buttons.
Tough.
He's up to something.
Yeah, I've been fishing this whole time.
Oh, is it? You've literally just been fishing. You haven't done anything else.
Well, I've been going to the fishing places. So, no, not really.
That's great, man. That's real cool. I'm trying to think of
point is
the bats. There's bats now. That was weird, actually, that they just added bats that fly around. And they're animated. Obviously, not very complicated, I'm sure. I wonder if they're in the mission in any way. I wonder if they're in the missions. Maybe
I
we
was
should
thinking
know.
that would be cool if they were, but then I realized, they probably are.
I mean,
Or if you open a present, or not present, like a pumpkin, and like a bunch of bats fly out of your face.
well, we talk a lot
cool.
about the fact that they probably need to. They need to look look into adding more cosmetic categories, and something that they've sort of just stayed away from, and I don't really know why. Is like effects, like special effects for your character.
Yeah,
like an aura of like bats circling you would be a pretty cool thing to add for Halloween, right?
Yeah, victory moves as well as like a
victory
thing
move,
they could
as
add.
well. What would that be? Like you fly in as like a swarm of bats and you turn into the dwarf.
It's a bit like Morbius, yeah.
Yeah, like Morbius. Yes, Morbius. We need Morbius cosmetics, obviously.
Morbsus.
Don't say that. Fuck is wrong with you?
Morbius. More sussius.
Well, that's just disgusting. Okay, what
Thank you.
what do you think?
Actually, they could do like the Sandman mask, like Morpheus.
Oh,
that's a pretty cool mask.
What the hell?
It's quite similar to the Plague mask, in all fairness, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Plague Doctor. I guess we're getting that mask, but
yeah, which someone commented, or Haunted Charged commented, and he actually has like a Plague Doctor in his profile picture, and he really doesn't recognize it as one unless it's got a hat on it. Which
the hat is an important part of it, I think.
They might get some shit for. Unless it's for some reason it's their first introduction of like a full face mask where you can wear something on top of it, and they also added the hat. They're probably gonna get some shit.
Don't get your hopes up, son. I mean, okay, this is one of the actually. I don't know if being annoyed is really correct, but something I immediately pretty quickly noticed about these hats, the one they added this Halloween, the Mission Control one is obviously they modelled Mission Control's headset, right?
Yeah.
Where's that? Is that gonna, that's like a full. That could be its own thing.
Mm.
Like it is. It's right there. I would take advantage of
Yeah.
that. Just put it in like the performance pass. It's like that's cool,
Well, the
man.
thing is, it's a bit big.
Well, they could scale it down, I suppose, a little
Yeah.
bit. It wouldn't have to be by much, and obviously, yeah. And even the other one, which is the other one is called the Hooded Horror. But then that's got like the hood with it, and like the hood is something I would like on its own as well. Although it's not as obvious, but still, it's like, oh, both of them kind of are made of like things that they should probably separate from it and have as its own thing. So good one there.
Mm.
I would really like, however, like a diver helmet, and like
Oh, it's over. The rest of song.
oh, no, don't don't get carried away. So well, obviously we got the skeleton crew helmet from the supported DLC, but that is actually, aside from the skull, is actually more of a modern like diver's helmet. I'm thinking very like classic, like think the Scooby Doo guy. That's the very like classic diver helmet. It's not that. That's not the skeleton crew. Isn't that? So something more like that. That would be great Halloween cosmetic, but also as like a full armor set as well.
I mean, that would work pretty well with like the steampunk idea. Like,
yeah, because like when it came to that, because like I feel like I've seen concept art of like a diver armor set, like it's like very deliberately steampunk style, like very made that way.
yeah.
But then you'd probably want, well, actually maybe not, because they don't really do different headgears for the different classes. But like you would want to invoke like Big Daddy from Bioshock for Driller, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like absolutely. Like even if you might want to put, well, actually you wouldn't need to put the drill on his hand, I suppose. But that's kind of the idea. That's very like is that like a thing? Is that aquapunk? Is that, would it be? I feel like that might be something else.
That sounds like a
Because I think
fancy
Bioshock
name.
is steampunk, but it's just underwater.
Yeah.
And I think aquapunk might actually be something else. So it's not that. Either way, steampunk stuff better be coming soon. Go ship.
A threat, Harry.
Yeah, actually it is.
All right, cool.
Oh God, I mean, my stupid ass. When I was thinking about other Halloween items, I thought, oh, what about a lion mask? Oh fuck.
Yeah, because not allowed to do any animals. It's
Yeah.
same with dragons.
Why not a dragon?
Anything reptilian. That's
Really?
well, thing is that like sure they could add them, but I expect a fallout.
Like dragon wings, would that be a problem?
Probably, although it would imply the use of a backpack slot, and I think would both want
Well,
that.
that's absolutely a thing they should do because they've got a bunch of them already, as in from the armors. And
Yeah.
you can just change the backpacks.
Yeah.
So get on that. Get on that.
That
And
is
then you could add more.
something.
And then you could like, if you're starting to, if the ghost ship like, oh, I don't know if we'll give it to come up with Halloween cosmetics next year. This is why you need to branch out.
Well, I feel like they're not gonna really do all that for that, but I do think they should come to terms with the fact that like they need more variation.
Well, the
and
thing is,
this
they're already
this
not
isn't-
taking advantage of their options, though. That's the thing. Like, because they've
Yeah.
only done headgears for holiday events, except obviously when they added Scale Brigade, but that wasn't like birthday themed armor, was it? So
yeah,
what's going on?
and it's just I don't know. It's just it feels like they've done it before. Like they've taken up they used to just have beards as like beards, but didn't they like take them apart, right? Like and like set them into separate things. Like that's how like the moustaches and all of that are made. And obviously that was a good idea, but like I think they've got to be aware how bloated headgears are. Like there's just so many of them, and there's only ever more because they're always adding more headgears than everything else.
Yeah, Yeah, and
like
this is
because of holidays
yeah.
and most of season passes are just headgears. Like it's only going to get worse and worse until you literally like you'll never be able to find any of your headgears, and there's just so many customizational like options that are just not in the game when they should be. Like just like I don't know. We did a video on it. It's just absurd that they haven't even mentioned it, which I feel like is something I don't know. I should ask them at some point on a stream, um, because it's just obscene how much wasted potential there is in
Brain in a
headgears.
jar.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But like, well, the thing is, like, well, I just said that they don't really even take advantage of the options they already have. This is the problem. Like, they don't have to do headwear for every event. Like, I love next Halloween if it's like a skin color and it's like a zombie, so it's like grey with like cuts and like you can see their brains, something like that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
And they could do that. It's not like it's not too much work for them. We know that. Like, that's something they could definitely do. But it's just like these kind of weird oversights, or I don't know how to explain how they wouldn't want to do these things or wouldn't see like reason to do these things. I don't know how to explain it, and that's because we just don't know what they're thinking. But it's like,
yeah,
why wouldn't you want to make something like that? People would love that shit. It's just cool. It's just good, and it's like it means you don't have to bloat the headwears out even more as well. It's like, so why not? Why
I think
not?
it's just always it's like if they have even considered it, which I don't doubt that they have, it's probably just so far down the bottom of their list. Like I imagine, like it's just
I
I
want to
don't
see that list. And when it
know.
comes to
Honestly,
customization specifically, I want to see what's at the top of their list. Right?
yeah,
Because are they really
I think they
planning,
should just
are they just winging it when it comes to cosmetics at this point, except for the DLCs? Because it kind of feels like it. Although, to be fair, we've seen
yeah.
some of the season 3 ones, and they look pretty good. To be fair, and maybe they've learned a little
Yeah.
bit when it comes to like not restricting paint jobs on headgear. Basically saying those cosmetics
Just
shouldn't exist outside of holiday stuff. By the way,
generally, as a rule, just don't restrict the color schemes and add more color schemes so we are less restricted by the ones we do have. Like the less
exactly.
restrictions you put on the cosmetics, the happier everyone will
Yeah,
be.
and go back to
Uh,
like that idea of effects. You could have like a ghostly like aura, or like you're sort of maybe almost transparent or like translucent, and you sort of like you look ethereal. Effects like that. It's just come on, guys. Maybe can I be on fire? Like green fire enveloping me. Like how fucking sick would that be? It's just like
well, yeah, I
What are you
mean,
talking about? You
I
silly
don't know.
prick. What do you mean? You want cool
Yeah,
shit? Fuck off.
it's just gonna come a point in time where they're gonna have to do something because the current customization system will not sustain the future of this game. Um, at least nicely, really. Like it's gonna end up being far too bloated, and everything is gonna look bad because they've just had to pull some shit out of their ass, just to try and fill up the slots, and it would just rot. Or they can get fucking to it now, take apart the headgears, so you have like goggles or eye gears as options, and like hats and hair, stuff like that. Just fucking
But
sort
once
it out.
again, how many people actually want that? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Everyone wants that, but how many people actually know it? Probably
Yeah.
nowhere near enough. That's the truth of it. Not enough people. Not enough people realize that that's what should be done. But I don't see how anyone could disagree. I'd love to see someone disagree, though. I would love to see that. It's just like, how? How? Present us your actual argument for why you are like preference wise against more customization options being added. And also I don't want to hear people being like, oh, maybe they have certain restrictions. If they do, I want to hear that from them basically.
Yeah, I just want
I
to get
don't
an
really
answer
like
for it at
I
least.
don't particularly like hearing people say like assume what they can and can't do. Like the shooting range thing, we know that they kind of can't. Well, we know that it can do it, but we know what the limitations are, or
It
the
wouldn't be
reasons why
worth
they
the
wouldn't.
effort, and they have a gameplay reason as to why. Like, if you want to test a gun out, just go into
It's
a
also
mission
just a
because
better
that will
way to
basically
do
be what
it,
it is.
right? Because there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it is. There's always room, in my opinion, for like a sandbox type mode in every game, but that's not really good for testing. If you just have this blank room where you can just spawn enemies, like as many as you want, like that's not for it to really be like properly testing. You'd want to be in the actual environments that the game throws at you and be going against the random encounters that the game throws at you. So if any people who ask for like a shooting range, think about it, right? Why is that the best way to? Why do you want it that way? It's just convenience, isn't it? Which is fair, right? But think about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro.
Well, yeah, I know. It's just, I don't know. So many people want so many different things. You can't blame them for not being able to do everything. But it would just be nice to just get an answer on like our idea, which wouldn't be hard to do in all fairness.
I suppose so.
Actually
Go on,
given the
you've got
question
to do
like,
that. Go on, ask them now.
they are doing the teaser now, Harry.
Now.
Well, he's standing at the place he always does the teaser, and he's
Well,
asking for rock and stones. So
what does that mean?
that means the teaser is happening within the next 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. If I can.
Well, you can't make a new recording. Yeah. Like you can't pause it and then record a video while that one's
No.
paused.
No. What I'm gonna do. So, guys, basically, what's going on right now is they are doing a teaser on the dev stream, and
You fucking
Man.
serious?
Oh man. Let me just
damn it.
Oh,
well.
let me just make sure. No privacies. You know what?
Oh.
I'm just gonna
Actually. Okay, well, hold on. I'm gonna pause. This is so scuffed.
The topic at hand, and Tom has just come online, who was supposed to be here for this podcast.
Yeah, I did want to. Ideally, we would have talked about haunted caves a little bit. It's something I wanted to do, because that's like, and just horror in the game in general.
Right.
And but at the same time, horror is obviously that's a fine topic for another episode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we've got some priorities now. This is still shorter than I would have liked it to be, but you know, it's the Halloween special. It's just a fun
we
sort of run about random bollocks doing Halloween
this week as well. So, but yeah, that's. I mean, I think what we said there was basically it's like the summing up of like things we always end up talking about, like the seasonal gap, the holiday events, and like fucking cosmetic adjustments. I guess we didn't talk about Jonah's grenade problem, but
our usual shtick.
Yeah.
The well-trod ground that is the customization problem. All right. Well, that was the Halloween special. I'm not sure how Halloween, but we talked a lot about the Halloween cosmetics, to be fair. But
yeah.
All right.
We'll have a Halloween stream coming out Friday and or
Coming
tomorrow
out.
if you're watching it today. Well, we'll be we're doing that.
Doing a Halloween stream.
So we'll actually be playing it, which is probably what we should have done before this, but we didn't have the time. So
either way, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to do those things.
thank you.
Doesn't it actually help when you say like and subscribe? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So if you like this, please like and subscribe. That'd be lovely.
Well, it's actually,
And
I know
love you all.
it's statistically proven that it's like 90% of you aren't subscribed.
Oh god, well,
That
that's
is
not
actually
the case
that was
for us.
like proven.
It's the case with some of our videos, but not this one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. Either way,
I-
right. Thanks for listening, fellas. Love you all.
Mwah.
Mwah.